Woo! Oh man, if I don't become a supervillain before the end of the year, before the next Call of Duty releases, I don't know what's gonna do it in for me. Ladies and gentlemen, before we even begin diving into the real meat and potatoes of today's video, let me just quickly go ahead and put some numbers on the screen. As you guys can see, not only in the past few days has Call of Duty lost over 50% of their player base, but now you can see all the other Call of Duty games on Steam charts have considerably seen an uprise in player counts since Call of Duty Black Ops 6's flop in maintaining players. I don't know how much more I don't know how much more clear it can become for them to finally get the message that people don't want their manipulative games and they just rather play a COD game that is just about fun and not a 9 to 5. Like, there feels like every single lobby in Black Ops 6 is just now a lobby where you have hackers, people cheating, and there's always money on the line. People are sweating their balls off and things are getting out of hand. So let's go ahead and get started on today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and drop a like if you guys do enjoy this kind of video, or drop a dislike. Leave some comments in the comment section down below so we can have some constructive discourse. This is something the COD community needs to become aware of, and we need to stick together if we are to go ahead and beat out what's going on right now in the Call of Duty scene. So as we get started, before I even begin, let me just go ahead and put on screen right now, as you guys can see, courtesy of some other videos on the internet, of course, and some Reddit threads, there are people who are literally talking about how the Black Ops 6 event for Squid Game Season 2 is literally equipping the Season 2 Squid Game skin on default without people actually going in and selecting them themselves. Obviously, we spoke about this on the last video, but here's just another clip or a picture that I'm going to post on screen right now so you guys can go ahead and see that this is something that is a widespread issue. A lot of people are reporting this. Whether it's a bug or not, up for you to decide, but there's just too many convenient benefits for them to be able to show off the skin so that an entity like Netflix would be therefore more inclined to jump into some more collab deals with Call of Duty in the future. Ergo, more money for the suits, right? Now, let's go ahead and jump straight into this thing. As you guys can see, there have been some people literally talking about how in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies, as you can see, I'm going to post a picture on the screen right now. This is courtesy from someone named I'm a Bad Teammate. He actually posted a picture about how his game in Black Ops 6 Zombies had glitched out when he booted the game back up. He had appeared as his Modern Warfare 3 milsim operator named, I think his name is Rocket or something like that. And that goes to show that Black Ops 6, which by the way, keep in mind guys, keep in mind, when Call of Duty went on a unified engine all the way back in 2019 with the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, they switched over to this brand new engine. And this brand new engine was the same engine that they were going to be using from game to kind of unify it all on the same platform. Now we find out they have no real reason to go ahead and tell us that our cosmetics that we buy one year can't be used the next year. We literally saw it done with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3 in the past few years, where they had the whole, crossover things where everything you purchase gets to go up into the next game for Modern Warfare 3. And now we find out, ladies and gentlemen, that there's not even a distinction between Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops 6. We already knew that, but this is just the proof in the pudding right here. If they really wanted to, they would let us play with the skins that we purchase. But why aren't they doing that? Have you guys ever thought for a second here that every single time they go ahead and force us to restart from scratch with milsim skins and they have all these brand new shop bundles, it's because they don't want us to be content with what we already purchased in the past, but rather they just want to pressure us into buying more of their new crap and slop that they just keep tossing out into the shop for egregious amounts of money. Microtransactions, my ass. This is a macro transaction if I've ever seen one. But you know what? That's just going on right now. They have the skins. They are usable. If they really wanted to, they would let us use it. But you know what? Moving on into the meat and potatoes, the real reason why you guys are here, Call of Duty is facing a lawsuit, more so over Activision, should I say, because apparently it's a lawsuit, I believe, involving a shooting of some kind, and Call of Duty has been forced to disclose some sales numbers and costs to make some of their games. They didn't do it for all of them, only for a few of them, and as you guys can see right here in the picture, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could say that I was kidding around, but I am not. Charlie Intel literally posts, and I quote, Activision disclosed the cost to develop and sales of some Call of Duty titles. Black Ops 3, released in 2015, cost $450 million to make, and it sold 43 million copies, which is actually pretty insane, especially for a game like Black Ops 3. Obviously, riding the wave of hype from Black Ops 2, everyone was excited. Came right after Advanced Warfare, so people were just waiting for a Black Ops game. That makes sense, and honestly, that game was amazing. Say what you will about the campaign, multiplayer, especially zombies, great game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 cost $640 million to make, sold 41 million copies. Now, let me be the first to say, this one actually surprised me a lot. And why might you be asking? Well, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 was supposedly touting a return to form for Call of Duty in returning to the Modern Warfare series, boots on the ground, stylish as it may be, and also going back into the grittiness of what Call of Duty really is. Supposedly, the marketing really hyped up this game. I honestly thought this game was going to go ahead and have the highest numbers of Call of Duty players of all time. It touted a brand new engine, it touted a return to form, it touted all the gritty realism, the most weapons in a Call of Duty multiplayer experience to date, at least up until 2019, and now we realize it sold 2 million copies less than Black Ops 3. And then they have Black Ops Cold War, which released in 2020 during prime COVID, no less, which is when everyone's literally locked in their houses with nothing better to do than to play video games. And Black Ops Cold War cost $700 million to make and sold 30 million copies. It literally sold 11 million less than Modern Warfare 2019, and yet it costs $60 million more to make than Modern Warfare 2019. Make that make sense, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it can, and honestly, at the rate that all this is going, you probably have to ask yourself, if this is literally the proof in the pudding, these are numbers that Call of Duty / Activision has really been hellbent on never releasing to the public. The only reason they're doing it right now is because they're facing legal trouble and they have no better alternative than to just show the numbers. But even then, they've been very select about the titles that they've been releasing, because notice there's no Black Ops 6 numbers here. Notice there's no Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, Vanguard numbers on here. No. All of this stuff is from Cold War and back. So, this begs the question. If Call of Duty is so intent on keeping skill-based matchmaking, which supposedly is what's really good for player retention numbers, and yet we are literally seeing with our own eyes, the proof is in the pudding right here, that there are significantly less players buying the game, then why is it they still insist on keeping it in the game? Well, the answer is shop bundles. That's where they make their money. That's how they do it. They have a manipulative system to make it so that you jump into lobbies with people with all these over expensively priced bundles, and then you get pub stomped by them. You go ahead and fork out $20, $30 to buy the same bundle this person was using, only for the algorithm to then give you some leniency and put you in some easy lobbies for you to feel really good about your purchasing decision, and then do the same thing to someone else and then make them feel like they're getting pub stomps for them to then go ahead and buy the latest shop bundle in the shop. This is pure manipulation. And it's not like Black Ops 3 didn't have its own things either, you know? Black Ops 3 was a straight up casino with gambling. For those of you guys who remember, again, I cannot believe this was pretty much 10 years ago at this point. My God. But yeah, Black Ops 3 is a game that literally touted loot boxes, right? Just straight up gambling. If you wanted the new gun, go ahead and spin on the loot box. You might get lucky. You probably won't be. And then that's how it worked. Nowadays, it's more straightforward, but because it's more straightforward, they charge you a lot more for that certainty, right? Before it was like loot boxes. I don't remember exactly how much they cost. I think it was like $2.99 or something like that in the past. And I think in Advanced Warfare, I remember they had like regular supply drops and advanced supply drops. And even then, you still could earn enough currency to go ahead and buy these loot boxes in the game organically without having to fork over any money. Whereas to nowadays, you can't really earn Call of Duty points by default, unless obviously you're doing the freemium track of the Battle Pass, but they spread them out so far apart from each other that it's like, dude, like, are you really gonna go through like that extensive manipulative matchmaking algorithmic game just to go ahead and unlock those COD points and then buy yourself a battle pass? I don't know who's gonna do it. I don't know how many of you guys have done it, but if you guys did or didn't do it, these are the numbers. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to show Call of Duty really does not give a damn. They do not respect the actual things that the player wants, because if you expect me to also believe that Call of Duty has just been, this is news to them and that this is all brand new information. Oh, well, what's going on here? Oh, we didn't know about that. That's a lie. That is BS. And I'm calling it right now. This is $1 trillion entity if you include Microsoft in there. And they definitely know the feedback that the Call of Duty fandom has been giving for their crappy games and their predatory algorithmic matchmaking system. But Activision is too busy doing these office crawls, drinking breast milk from the fridge, as they did in their latest lawsuit that was honestly just horrendous. Activision has been going through so much crap, and this is what they choose to do instead. I don't know how they can really come back from this. These numbers do not lie. I am really curious to see, though, how they're going to take this information and spin it around to favor them yet again. Because honestly, right now, with half the fandom being completely vindicated, we really need to see what's going on with the future of Call of Duty. And that's what's been going on with that. But moving on from that, chat, AI bots in Black Ops 6 confirmed, guys. Confirmed. So obviously this comes here thanks to Blame Truth as well and Neurocinema. Those guys are absolute legends. As you guys can see, I'm going to put it on screen right now. So this comes from Reddit user The Lanky Soldier. He says, did I just join an internal developer server? Bots coming to normal battle royale? When he goes ahead and moves on and continues to elaborate on this, he says, so here I am, decided to matchmake to some solos BR before going to sleep, and the next thing I know, I have teammates spawning above my head. I'm confused as hell as I'm in solos, but as I go to my quote-unquote teammates, it's bots. It's actual legit bots. I don't know if a hacker / cheater on my server found a new way to F with this game, or if I got lucky and got into some internal developer server and that somehow is public, kind of like how they literally almost pushed a developer playlist a few weeks ago where we found out that they had bots in matchmaking. But anyways, I continue. It said, those bots kept spawning, reviving, fighting gulags, doing basic stuff like any player would, but of course, you could tell that they are very basic in what they do. I have no idea what happened or what I did, but this basically made me think that Activision / Raven Software is thinking about adding bots in the future like Fortnite has right now for players that are not in the high-skilled base matchmaking. Or it's some kind of secret super duper server for developers to do last-minute testing before the patch goes live. This is just speculation on my end, but I was flabbergasted on what I had just witnessed. Yes, there were some real players on the servers, but I have no idea how, quote-unquote, legit they were. But they all realized quickly that we have bots in the server. And then he says, edit here, I just checked that no XP was tracked while I was on the server. Definitely a developer server then, as it's not part of the, quote-unquote, public servers. Guys, I have not seen a mess up from a corporation like this so big in a long ass time. And let me tell you right now, the fact that bots are in the battle royale mode, right? Which of course, it's not something that we should really be too surprised about. Call of Duty, obviously, when they're designing a game, they usually do a lot of their testing with bots as well, right? That's how they usually test these things out. However, this isn't a public battle royale lobby, and he got no XP. Suddenly, everything is starting to come full circle and make a lot more sense. I'm going to post on screen right now here from Neurocinema on Twitter or on X. You can see right here, he had gone in the past and done a lot of lobbies where he tried to track exactly how the XP system worked in Call of Duty. This was specifically during the double XP weekends because he noticed that Call of Duty double XP wasn't really working as it should. For those of you guys who do not know, in Black Ops 6, whenever you activate a double XP token or a double XP weekend arrives, playing on certain maps, certain modes will grant you less XP than playing regularly on regular standard modes. However, during his test, he had gotten a consistent class setup. I think it was with the Tonto SMG. He had jumped into different maps and then gotten one kill, backed out, and then tried to quantify that for the double XP, and it never lined up. But as you can see right here in his post, there were some matches like match 2 where he would get a kill and get no XP at all for said kill. So the question then comes in the form of, what is going on? Well, now it makes sense. If there's bots in the multiplayer, the game's not going to give you XP for killing killing a bot. But then how are the bots, like, it's gotten to the point where they have never divulged that there are bots in multiplayer, right? The only times we've had AI in multiplayer where they've let it be known that it's AI is whenever you play something like Hardpoint back when October with the whole zombies stuff, where they would have the zombies running around while you're playing Hardpoint. But now this makes a lot more sense, because if there's AI in the regular multiplayer algorithm, then where are they coming from? Where are these players coming from? Because obviously, if it were just regular bots, and Call of Duty was fine with us knowing that the regular bots, why is the game not making the distinction of having them called bots something, or maybe give them a developer name like they used to back in the day with Black Ops 2, and then their clan tag would be 3ARC. That's how it used to be back in the day. That's how you knew you were playing against bots. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and read you guys some of the comments that people have been dropping on Reddit talking about how this situation has been getting out of hand, because potentially Call of Duty is not only putting bots in the lobbies, but the reason why the game doesn't close in the background, or why it's still open even after you get out of the game, like what happened to me yesterday, is because Call of Duty is actively using your account as a shell to then input its AI bot system to play for you. Let me go ahead and read you guys this first one right here. This comes from a YouTube video from Blame Truth. This is one of the comments right there from Big Lenith, talking about how I'm pretty sure they use your profile as bots when you're not online. I got home yesterday and hit search for a game of Warzone just for it to go to a loading screen almost immediately, which was weird. And I load into the game, downed in the water. I look around for a few times and my screen then goes black and the message pops up saying kicked for inactivity. As if that weren't enough, let's go ahead and continue, because there's a lot more of these comments here before I start diving into these. So the next one right here is from And Fluke. You can see right here it says, is gathering some good info on this game, and now this kind of links in with the bots running on your profiles while you're not playing. No XP added or anything. It's just looking like you're online playing, using you as a shell for their AI bots. Even all the stats, data, everything we do goes into making this AI bot better to replicate your playstyle. This is literally what's going on right now. Your account is being used as a shell. They are putting in their own AI. All this information they've been tracking with the whole SBMM is all going into this. It's all going into the whole data bank that Call of Duty loves storing, just for them to be able to replicate your playstyle and then go ahead and shove it into their AI bots without giving you any corresponding XP, but it touts you as being online. It inflates their player account numbers on Steam charts, and they get to go ahead and show it off like a show pony to their investors, talking about how all these people are playing. It's gotten so bad. People are literally probably reporting these bots while they're playing the game, because this is also courtesy of Blame Truth. You can see right here, this poor soul gets banned by Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign and Warzone because of a potential violation of the terms and conditions on the Call of Duty servers. This makes no sense. He got shadow banned and he wasn't even playing the game. What is the explanation, unless the game is using your account as a bot while you're not online? And people are reporting this bot so much because obviously they're like, wait a second, this looks like a bot. Probably a cheater. Let me go ahead and report it. Turns out it actually is a bot, and you get a shadow ban, but you don't get any of the XP that comes with it. Isn't that just beautiful? And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, what's the point of playing Call of Duty, right? Like, what is the real victory that you get out of playing this game? Obviously, the Call of Duty experience is something that has been changing so much for the past few years, right? If you go ahead and told someone from 2011 what the Call of Duty experience was, they would probably tell you it was coming home from school, sitting down with a group of friends, and then just having a great old time with their mics plugged in on the Xbox or PlayStation 3 or whatever it was, and just trash talking and having a great time. Late nights playing Search and Destroy, TDM on Terminal or on Arcade, and if you're playing MW3 like I did, or any of those kinds of matches, right? But nowadays you ask them what it is, and they're probably going to tell you half the experience is like Fortnite, where you just participate in these event matches, buy all these bundles, and then just go online to start trolling people. But don't plug in your mic, because then you're going to get shadow banned, or run the risk that you're playing against other people who are just actual shells of their former selves, because it's actual literal AI Activision Activision bots playing and then going ahead and getting wrecked by literal bots without the game telling you that it's actually happening. This has gotten so far out of hand that if you look at the bundles already in Black Ops 6, just this far into the year, guys, the game just came out in October. It's only been November, December, we're in January. It's been like 2.5 months, or probably 2 months actually, because it came out like late October, I believe. Guys, the bundles in Call of Duty already for Black Ops 6 are totaling over $800 worth of COD points for every single bundle in the store. This is a $70 premium title, and they're charging us like if it was a free-to-play game. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, you don't have to go ahead and buy these things. It's not part of the experience. You don't have to partake in this. That's true. But I also didn't have to partake in all the brand new weapons they added into the game back then in Black Ops 3. And yet it was something that was kind of integral to the experience, because whether you like to admit it or not, the rush of dopamine, the hit of dopamine that people get when they unlock something as a reward is also a part of the experience. And when you take all this content and then you just lock it behind a paywall and prohibit people from actually being able to access these skins, and you give people trash items or trash skins or bundles for free, and then you leave all the great stuff in the shop. I mean, tell me for a second. I'm probably going to put this on screen as well. The Black Ops 6 Citadel Day More Easter egg skin that you get for completing the entire Easter egg is what? A Weaver skin. But this Weaver skin does not look anything as good compared to half the bundles in the shop. And I'm not saying that the bundles in the shop all look amazing. For the most part, I actually hate most of them, you know, because I feel like it's just not what Call of Duty is supposed to be at this point. But that's a discussion for a different day. Let's not get sidetracked. Right now, the point is that a lot of the stuff that they're doing is that they're purposefully giving you scraps and then leaving the great stuff locked behind a paywall. And ladies and gentlemen, that is part of the evidence that we have here. That is what's going on. And as if things didn't stop there, right here, I'm going to put this on screen as well. The Ghost of Hope, who's a reputable source as well, and has said, take this with a huge grain of salt. I'm hearing that the next Xbox console is still coming in 2026 and will be called the Xbox Prime. Still unclear if it's a code name or the actual name. I've heard Infinity Ward's next COD is still being considered a day one release for this. So let's go ahead and get our facts straight here. Call of Duty and Microsoft and Activision, because at this point they're all bundled into the same group. Obviously, Microsoft owns Call of Duty now. They are planning on releasing the next Call of Duty game, which is likely going to be Modern Warfare 4, because the campaign story is not wrapped up, as a day one release for their Xbox. So now they're using the franchise. Like, that's the thing. Call of Duty pumps up numbers. It brings a lot of people into it. But now, in the recent years, Call of Duty has not been pumping many numbers, and it's really just been, you know, because it's really just been a cheating conglomerate of what they used to be. If you guys don't know, on the Steam charts, every single time you see Call of Duty there on the Steam charts and these high player counts, it's not actually Black Ops 6. It's Black Ops 6 and Zombies and Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 all in one game. They just call that Call of Duty HQ, and that's the numbers that gets reflected on the Steam charts. Guys, this is like a total of 3 to 4 games in one, right? BO6, MW2, MW3, and Warzone. This is 4 games being counted as one title, and you're gonna tell me that this is fair? This is the numbers that they're flexing, which means that the situation, the player base in Black Ops 6, what's the real percentage of that? You see all these numbers on Steam charts, how many of them are actually playing MW3? Like how I'm doing for this video. How many of them went back to MW2? We've already seen that the huge amount of the classic Call of Duty population has gone back to play the older titles. They've all seen an uptick in player counts. So how many people are left playing Black Ops 6? Everything is literally being manipulated before our eyes, and they think that we are not going to do anything about that. So if you guys do agree with what I've been talking about, or if you guys have anything you guys want to say, report maybe on some of your experiences, please go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section down below. If it's anything crazy, I'll probably go ahead and screenshot it and use it in the next video as well, because honestly guys, this is stuff that we have to be putting out there for others to see. Call of Duty cannot keep getting away with this, and I literally came out of the woodworks to create this YouTube channel and start reporting on this stuff because I have decided decided enough is enough, and we need to go ahead and start having more people talk about what's going on. So if you guys have any stories to tell as well, please drop it in the comment section down below, and please go ahead and drop a subscribe. Make sure to turn on notifications if you guys do enjoy these daily Call of Duty update videos. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video, or a dislike if you guys did not, and let me know why. Please have a fantastic day, everyone, and I will see you guys all on the next video. Peace out.